Beloved soul, many walk through life unaware that within them lies a divine mission, a sacred calling that transcends mere existence, career, or fleeting worldly roles. Some live decades without knowing that God has quietly prepared them across lifetimes to become channels of light in a world longing for truth. Today, I speak to you not as an observer of your journey, but as one who has seen, through divine vision, how Spirit silently selects and shapes certain souls to bear a higher message. Perhaps you have felt this yourself, a subtle pull in your heart that whispers, "You were meant for more than this." Perhaps you've noticed signs that you could not explain. Signs that hint you may be one of those spiritual messengers chosen by the infinite. In this sacred discourse, I will reveal to you these hidden signs, drawn from the eternal science of the soul, so that you may recognize the divine hand guiding your life and embrace your mission with humility and grace. From the first moment of your incarnation, God planted seeds in your consciousness, preparing you to awaken to this higher purpose. The first sign, which often appears early yet grows stronger with time, is a restless heart that refuses to settle for the fleeting joys and comforts of this world. You may have tasted success, wealth, or affection, and found them strangely hollow. Achievements that once promised fulfillment left you unsatisfied, as though your soul were thirsting for a drink no earthly fountain could provide. This is not the dissatisfaction of ego desiring more, is the longing of spirit reminding you that you came to this earth not merely to survive or to gather possessions, but to bring a light unseen, a message that transcends matter. Like a seed buried deep in the soil, feeling the call of spring long before the snow has melted, your soul senses a destiny that lies beyond the visible horizon of your life. This restless yearning is a sign that you are not bound to the same patterns as others. Spirit has placed in you an inner compass pointing not toward worldly security, but toward divine service. Each time you feel this quiet unrest, know that it is the gentle tug of God awakening your true purpose. Many try to silence this inner voice with distractions, ambition, or comfort, but the spiritual messenger cannot escape it for long. The divine mission waits patiently until you turn inward and begin to listen. As this restlessness ripens, you begin to notice another sign, an unusual sensitivity to suffering and injustice that others may overlook. The world's sorrows do not pass by you unnoticed. They pierce your heart like arrows, stirring within you a deep compassion that cannot be ignored. When you see another soul in pain, whether near or far, it feels as though you yourself are wounded. This is not weakness, beloved, it is divine empathy. A spiritual messenger is given a heart that feels humanity's struggles as their own, so that, when the time comes, they may speak and act not from theory, but from the living fire of understanding and mercy. Yogananda often said that the saints of all ages were forged not by ease, but by the capacity to carry the burdens of others in their own hearts. This sensitivity is Spirit's way of preparing you to become a healing presence in the world. It is why you may have felt out of place in circles of indifference or cruelty. It is why injustice unsettles you so deeply. God is not punishing you with this sensitivity. He is refining you into an instrument of divine compassion, one that can soothe wounds and inspire change simply through the vibration of love flowing from your being. Beloved soul, as your heart grows more attuned to divine purpose, another sign often emerges quietly, yet unmistakably: the presence of divine guidance and intuition that defies logic or worldly explanation. You begin to sense that an unseen hand is moving through your life, arranging meetings, opening doors, and placing you exactly where your soul needs to be for its unfolding. At times, you may hear a silent inner voice whispering direction at crucial moments, guiding you away from harm or nudging you toward a choice you had not considered. Other times, flashes of insight descend suddenly, revealing truths that your mind could not have reasoned out on its own. These moments are not coincidences nor products of imagination. They are glimpses of your deeper connection to Spirit. The soul of a spiritual messenger carries an open channel to the higher realms of divine intelligence, for it must one day transmit wisdom not of its own making but of God's inspiration. Intuition is the language of the soul, and as you awaken to your hidden mission, this language becomes clearer and more frequent. You may dream of people or events before they occur, sense someone's suffering without them speaking a word, or feel an unseen presence comforting you in moments of despair. This heightened guidance is a sign that Spirit is not only preparing you to receive messages but to trust them fully, to act upon divine whispers even when the world misunderstands or doubts you. Yogananda taught that the spiritual eye, the point between the eyebrows, is the portal through which intuition flows. When you close your eyes in stillness and gently lift your gaze to this center, you are aligning with the higher currents of wisdom that guide saints and sages. There may be times when this guidance feels like a burden, when knowing truths that others do not yet perceive leaves you feeling isolated. Yet remember, beloved, that divine messengers are first trained in silence. The wisdom you glimpse now is like morning light filtering through a curtain, soft and partial, preparing you for the day when you must draw the curtain wide and allow God's full radiance to shine through you for the good of many. With this deepening connection to intuition often comes another sign, one that may have marked your path since childhood, a quiet feeling of being different, as though your soul does not fully belong to the ordinary rhythms of this world. There comes a moment, beloved, when the soul chosen as a spiritual messenger feels the undeniable weight of being different, not in pride or superiority, but in a quiet, sometimes painful sense of not fully belonging to the world around them. From early years, you may have noticed this subtle separation. While others are content with common pleasures or unquestioned routines, your heart has been drawn to deeper mysteries, to questions of God, life, and eternity that few around you seem to ask. In crowds, you may have felt alone, sensing truths unspoken, perceiving currents of energy others could not feel. This sense of spiritual apartness is not punishment, nor is it a flaw in your nature. It is divine preparation. Just as a rare gem is set apart from ordinary stones to be polished for a higher purpose, so too must a messenger of spirit walk a slightly different path than those absorbed fully in material pursuits. You are not meant to fit neatly into every mold that society offers, because your mission will one day call you to break through those molds and reveal a higher way of living and being. Often this feeling of difference carries with it moments of loneliness, as though no one fully understands your inner world. Even among loved ones, you may feel a quiet space in your heart that remains untouched. But know this, that space is reserved for God alone, for divine friendship with the infinite and with the great souls who guide humanity from the unseen realms. Many masters and saints walked their early years misunderstood or even rejected by the world. Yet in time, they became luminous beacons whose presence awakened countless souls. If you feel this inner separation, do not despair. Instead, cherish it as a hidden blessing. It is Spirit's gentle way of detaching you from attachments that would one day hinder your service to humanity. Like a lotus that rises untouched from the mud, your soul is being prepared to stand in truth, not swayed by popular opinion or worldly illusions. Through meditation, prayer, and self-offering, you will find divine companionship that fills the seeming void and makes your soul strong enough to carry the light it was born to share. And as you continue on this sacred journey, Spirit ensures that guidance arrives at every step, not only through intuition, but through living messengers and sacred teachings that awaken memories long sleeping in your soul. As this divine shaping unfolds, beloved, you will often find yourself mysteriously drawn to spiritual teachers, sacred texts, or holy places without always understanding why. This is another hidden sign that you are a spiritual messenger. The repeated and seemingly orchestrated encounters with the guiding presence of Spirit through enlightened beings and transformative teachings. Perhaps you have experienced it already. You hear a name mentioned casually in conversation, and soon that name appears again in a book or a chance meeting. A passage of scripture catches your eye at just the moment you are questioning your path. A teacher's voice, carried through the written word or a living encounter, strikes a chord so deep within you that it feels like remembering rather than learning something new. These are not accidents, beloved. They are the divine thread of destiny, gently pulling you toward your soul's awakening. Yogananda taught that the bond between guru and disciple, between seeker and true spiritual guide, is not formed in this lifetime alone. It is forged in the fires of many incarnations, where promises were made, guidance was sought, and sacred trust was built. The moment you feel irresistibly drawn to a teaching or to a master who speaks not just to your mind but to your very soul, it is often the reuniting of that eternal bond. Spirit arranges these meetings because a messenger cannot deliver divine truth without first receiving its living flame from those already awakened. Even before meeting a teacher physically, You may sense their influence inwardly, dreams of luminous beings, feelings of unseen guidance during meditation, or an unexplained reverence for certain holy figures. These are whispers from past connections, urging you to seek again the wisdom that once shaped your journey. Such synchronicities and spiritual magnetism reveal that you are not wandering aimlessly. Your path is watched over, guided step by the invisible hand of God and His instruments. As these encounters deepen, you begin to feel the stirrings of divine power within, not as worldly ambition, but as sudden bursts of love, light, and bliss that seem to come from nowhere. This is another unmistakable sign that Spirit is awakening your hidden mission. There will come a time, beloved, when without warning or outward cause, waves of divine love and bliss begin to wash over your heart and mind. These moments may be brief at first, perhaps a sudden rush of joy while sitting in meditation, or a flood of tender love for all beings while walking quietly in nature. They may arrive during prayer, in the silence of dawn, or even amid the noise of worldly duties, catching you off guard with their intensity and purity. This is not mere emotion, nor the fleeting happiness that comes from external pleasures. It is the living current of God consciousness stirring within you, a holy preview of the divine power you are meant to channel as a messenger of Spirit. Yogananda spoke often of these sacred experiences, calling them glimpses of the soul's natural state, unbounded joy and unconditional love. When you feel them, you are tasting the nectar of your true home in spirit, and they leave behind an indelible longing to dwell always in that radiant presence. Such moments also awaken humility, for you know that this joy is not created by your effort. It flows freely from the infinite, entering your heart because you have begun to align with the divine purpose of your incarnation. Do not dismiss these experiences as mere imagination or coincidence. They are signs that the channels of your inner being are opening, allowing God's light to stream through you more and more. A spiritual messenger cannot guide others toward divine bliss without having first touched its essence within themselves. These spontaneous waves of joy are Spirit's assurance that you are being prepared to uplift and inspire others by the silent vibration of your own soul. Often, these glimpses of divine love are accompanied by a natural desire to share peace and kindness with others, not for recognition or reward, but simply because your heart overflows. Like a fountain that cannot hold its water, your spirit begins to radiate blessings effortlessly, soothing those around you with calmness, understanding, and unspoken reassurance. This is the fragrance of your spiritual mission beginning to blossom, hinting at the greater work yet to unfold. But know also, beloved, that this unfolding is not without its trials. For every messenger destined to bear divine light must first walk through refining fires that burn away pride, fear, and the subtle chains of ego, leaving only a pure vessel fit to serve God's will. Beloved, as these moments of divine joy awaken within you, life may also begin to present challenges that seem heavier than before, trials that test your patience, humility, and strength to their very core. You may wonder why, after touching glimpses of bliss and sensing God's nearness, you are suddenly confronted with obstacles, misunderstandings, or periods of deep loneliness. Know that this is not abandonment by Spirit. It is the sacred refining fire through which every true spiritual messenger must pass. Yogananda often said that gold cannot reflect the light of the sun until it has been purified by intense heat, and so it is with the soul chosen for divine service. These trials do not come to break you, but to dissolve all that is false within ego, self-importance, the clinging desire for approval or control. Each hardship strips away another veil of delusion, making you clearer, stronger, and more transparent to God's love. Perhaps you have faced betrayal by those you trusted, or endured loss that seemed unbearable, or walked through seasons where nothing in life made sense. These are not punishments, but divine sculpting, shaping you into an instrument that can resonate perfectly with Spirit's music. The heart that has known suffering becomes a compassionate vessel, capable of holding the pain of others without judgment, of guiding them gently because it understands their wounds from the inside. When you feel crushed by these trials, pause and remember, a messenger does not speak for themselves alone. They speak with the authority of Spirit, and for this, they must be emptied of personal pride and fear. God is not trying to destroy your individuality, but to awaken its highest expression, aligned fully with divine will. Every tear, every struggle faced with faith, is polishing the jewel of your soul until it shines with unearthly brilliance. And as this refinement continues, as you rise from each challenge with a deeper reliance on God, you will begin to understand the greater purpose behind it all, that your life has been chosen to serve as a quiet lamp, illuminating the path for other seekers lost in darkness. This is the destiny of every spiritual messenger, to carry not their own words, but the living light of spirit into a world starving for truth and divine remembrance. Beloved soul, when the refining fires have done their sacred work, and the channels of your being have been cleansed of fear and pride, a profound clarity begins to dawn within you. You realize that you were never meant to live for yourself alone. You feel a quiet but unshakable certainty that your existence carries a higher purpose, not as a burden, but as a luminous thread in the vast tapestry of divine awakening. You will notice that others are drawn to you, not because of worldly accomplishments or charm, but because they sense something beyond the ordinary in your presence. They may come to you for counsel, even when you have not sought to teach. They may find peace simply by sitting beside you, though no words are spoken. This magnetic quality is not of your own making, it is the silent radiance of spirit shining through you, the mark of a soul entrusted with a divine message. True spiritual messengers do not trumpet their role, nor do they seek recognition from the world. They walk humbly, aware that the light they carry is not theirs to claim but God's alone. This humility is itself a sign of readiness. The messenger no longer asks, "What can I gain?" but rather, "How may I serve?" They no longer strive to bend life to their will, for they have surrendered fully to the higher will of spirit, knowing that every step they take is guided by an intelligence far greater than their own. In this state, your life begins to flow in harmony with divine purpose. Synchronicities align effortlessly. The right people appear at the right moments. Words of wisdom come unbidden to your lips when another soul is in need. You realize that you have become an instrument through which spirit speaks and acts, offering comfort, guidance, and inspiration to others who, perhaps unknowingly, were waiting for the vibration of truth you alone were meant to bring. This is the ultimate sign that you are a spiritual messenger. You have ceased to live for yourself, and instead, you have become a channel through which divine love, wisdom, and healing flow naturally into the world. Your mission is no longer a distant calling, it is the silent, steady rhythm of your soul, moving in perfect attunement with the infinite, awakening others not by force, but by the sheer presence of spirit alive within you. Beloved, as this divine transformation completes its quiet work within you, a final realization dawns, a truth so profound that it reshapes every breath, every thought, every act of your life. You come to know, not as belief but as living experience, that you and God were never separate, that the message you carry is not words or doctrines, but the radiant vibration of divine remembrance itself. At this stage, when you sit in silence, you feel the living presence of the infinite moving through you like a boundless ocean. Prayer is no longer petition, it is communion. Meditation is not escape, it is union. The barriers of ego, fear, and worldly identity dissolve like mist before the rising sun, and what remains is pure spirit flowing through the temple of your being. This is not an exalted state reserved for saints alone. It is the natural destiny of every soul. But in spiritual messengers, it begins to blossom early, for they are called to carry this light into a darkened world. You may find yourself speaking less, yet saying more with your eyes, your touch, your silent presence. Those around you may feel uplifted without knowing why, as if a weight has been lifted from their hearts simply by being near you. This is not personal magnetism. It is divine energy emanating through you unobstructed, healing and awakening others through the silent power of spirit. In this state of realization, you see life differently. You understand that every trial was sacred preparation, every sorrow a hidden blessing, every joy a glimpse of God's eternal bliss. You no longer resist destiny nor seek to control it, for you have learned the highest truth, that a spiritual messenger is not self-appointed but divinely chosen, and their only task is to remain surrendered, allowing God to do His work through them. And so, beloved, if as you have heard these words, something deep within you has stirred, if you have recognized these signs in the quiet chambers of your own soul, know that this is no accident. Spirit is whispering to you, reminding you of the mission you carried into this life long before you drew your first breath. Trust it, nurture it, surrender to it in humility and love. For when you walk as a spiritual messenger, you walk not alone, you walk with God Himself. And through you, His light shall guide countless souls back to their eternal home in the infinite. Beloved soul, once this sacred recognition has dawned within you, life itself becomes a vast, living scripture, written not in ink or stone, but in divine vibrations that guide your every moment. The winds that stir the trees, the silent stars that watch from the heavens, the quiet stirrings of your own heart all become whispers of God, reminding you that your steps are no longer ordinary. They are guided by the eternal purpose for which you came. You will begin to notice that the burdens you once carried, fears of failure, doubts about your worth, attachments to worldly praise or blame, fall away like leaves from a tree in autumn. You realize you were never meant to cling to them. They were temporary veils placed over your true nature, meant only to teach you how to see through illusion and find your way home to spirit. As these veils dissolve, your soul feels lighter, freer, as though an invisible chain has been broken and you are finally able to soar toward the infinite skies of divine bliss. From this higher vantage point, you understand why the path of the spiritual messenger is both hidden and revealed, both silent and world-shaking. God hides His messengers in plain sight, clothing them in humility and quiet service, so that they may not be corrupted by pride or the lure of power. Yet, when the time comes, Spirit also reveals them unmistakably, not through grand proclamations, but through the undeniable radiance of divine truth flowing through their words, actions, and very presence. When you reach this state of realization, your service to the world no longer feels like an obligation or sacrifice. It is pure joy, the spontaneous expression of your soul overflowing with divine love. To lift another's burden becomes as natural as breathing. To share wisdom that brings light to a seeker's heart feels like sunlight streaming through a clear window. This is the secret of the spiritual messenger. They do not teach from their own will. They simply allow God's eternal message to flow through them unhindered, a stream of living water quenching the thirst of souls. And so, beloved, let your heart rest in the assurance that all the struggles, doubts, and sacred signs you have experienced were not random. They were the careful hands of Spirit shaping you into an instrument of light, destined to remind humanity of its forgotten divinity. Walk this path with courage, with humility, and above all with unwavering love, for you are never alone. The same divine power that called you will sustain you, and through you, countless others will remember the song of their own souls and awaken to the boundless joy of God's eternal presence. Beloved soul, as you continue to awaken to this divine mission, you will notice that your relationship with the world undergoes a profound transformation. You no longer see yourself as a solitary traveler navigating life's uncertainties, nor do you view others merely as passing figures in a fleeting drama. Instead, you begin to feel the great, silent unity of all beings, a single, luminous thread of spirit weaving through every soul, every event, every breath of existence. From this expanded awareness, compassion blossoms effortlessly. The struggles of others no longer feel separate from your own, for you recognize that every sorrow, every act of ignorance or fear, is simply a cry of the soul yearning to return to its true home in God. You cannot help but respond to these cries, not from pity or judgment, but from the same divine love that now sustains your every heartbeat. You find yourself offering a kind word where anger might have once arisen, extending forgiveness where blame would have seemed natural, and silently praying for those who know not yet the peace that floods your heart. And as you live this way, quietly attuned to Spirit, you discover that miracles begin to flow through your life, not as sudden flashes of supernatural spectacle, but as the gentle, unceasing rhythm of divine grace. Situations that once felt impossible to resolve find harmony without effort. People you encounter seem mysteriously uplifted, as though a hidden light within them had been switched on by your presence alone. You begin to understand that the true miracle is not in outward displays of power, but in the silent transformation of consciousness first within yourself, and then rippling outward into every life you touch. This is the sacred work of a spiritual messenger, to embody God's presence so fully that every word, every action, and even every silence becomes a vessel of divine blessing. And though you may not always see the full impact of your mission in this lifetime, know that every soul you uplift, every spark of remembrance you kindle, contributes to the awakening of humanity as a whole. Your life becomes like a candle passed from one hand to another, lighting fires of truth that will continue to burn long after your earthly journey is complete. Beloved, as you walk this path, you may sometimes wonder if you are ready, if you are worthy to carry such a mission. But remember this eternal truth. It is not your strength that will sustain you, nor your wisdom that will lead others home. It is God alone who works through you, and it is God alone who chose you before time began, knowing that one day you would awaken and say, "Here I am, Lord. Use me." In that surrender lies your greatest power, for when you are no longer bound by self, you are free to serve as a radiant messenger of the infinite light that never dies. Beloved one, as the realization of your calling deepens, you begin to understand that this journey of becoming a spiritual messenger is not a sudden leap into greatness, but a gentle unfolding guided by unseen hands. Every moment of stillness, every prayer whispered in solitude, every challenge met with faith has been shaping you for this purpose, polishing your soul like a diamond, meant to reflect the eternal brilliance of God's light. There will be times when you feel unseen or misunderstood by the world, when those closest to you cannot comprehend the sacred fire burning in your heart. But do not let discouragement touch you, for even the great masters walked quietly in shadow before their light became a beacon to the multitudes. Yogananda himself spent years in deep meditation and humble service, silently allowing spirit to carve away all that was not in harmony with divine will, until his very presence became a temple where seekers could feel God's living breath. In your own life, beloved, you may notice that spirit gently removes certain attachments, relationships, or comforts that once seemed essential. This is not loss, but divine protection, creating space for the deeper currents of your mission to flow unobstructed. A true messenger cannot be weighed down by the chains of worldly desire, nor can they carry the burdens of egoic ambition. Like a bird meant to soar high above the earth, your wings must be freed of every tether that keeps you from rising into divine freedom. And as you rise, you will discover that the message you are meant to share is not a complex doctrine, nor a rigid set of rules, but a living vibration of truth that springs directly from your communion with God. Words may be used, actions may serve as vessels, but the true teaching lies in the silent transmission of spirit itself. Those who come near you will feel a stirring in their own souls, a remembering of something eternal they had long forgotten. This is how God's messengers awaken others, not by force or persuasion, but by embodying so fully the divine presence that others cannot help but feel its call within themselves. Beloved, the world may never fully recognize the quiet magnitude of your mission, but this does not matter. A single soul awakened to truth has more power to uplift humanity than countless armies or empires. In ways you may never see, your surrender, your prayers, your silent dedication to God's will are planting seeds of light that will blossom across generations, guiding lost souls homeward long after your earthly voice has grown still. This is the eternal work of a spiritual messenger, and it is the destiny that your soul has carried from the beginning of time. Beloved soul, as this sacred journey draws to its close, let us pause together in the stillness of spirit and feel the truth of everything that has been spoken. You have walked through silent trials that few could see. You have been shaped by invisible hands that guided you towards something higher than worldly purpose. And now you stand on the threshold of your divine destiny as a messenger of the infinite. This is not a role you must strive to achieve. It is the truth of who you already are, waiting to blossom fully in the light of God's presence. Now, let all doubts fall away. Let every fear, every question of worthiness dissolve like mist before the rising sun of divine remembrance. Whisper inwardly to the beloved, "I am thine. Use me as thou wilt." Feel those words not as mere thoughts, but as the living breath of your soul, surrendering completely to the eternal friend who has walked with you through lifetimes unseen. In this surrender, you are no longer a seeker wandering in darkness. You have become a shining lamp through which Spirit's boundless love can illumine countless hearts still searching for the way home. Know that your mission does not depend on recognition, grand gestures, or outward validation. The silent prayer offered in faith, the hidden act of kindness, the steady gaze lifted toward God in the midst of life's storms, these are the signs of true spiritual service. Your life itself becomes the message, a radiant vibration that speaks louder than words, awakening divine remembrance in all who cross your path. And so, beloved, walk forward with serenity and joy, knowing that you are never alone. The masters who came before you walk beside you even now, whispering their guidance in moments of stillness, strengthening your heart when trials arise, rejoicing silently as you take each step in faith. You are part of an unbroken lineage of light bearers, souls chosen not to escape this world, but to transform it gently by living as vessels of God's love. Close your eyes for a moment, place your hands upon your heart, and breathe deeply. Inhale, I am a child of the infinite. Hold, feel the divine current flowing through every cell of your being. Exhale, through me, thy light shall shine. Carry this affirmation into every dawn, every moment of prayer and service, until you know without doubt that your soul was always destined to be a messenger of Spirit's eternal joy. And when others feel that joy awakening within them because of your quiet presence, you will know that the divine purpose of this life has been fulfilled. Beloved one, have you not often wondered why the heavens seem sealed? Why your prayers rose like smoke into the night, only to be swallowed by silence? You knelt, you pleaded, you whispered words into the air, and yet no answering voice came to comfort you. The human heart grows weary when its cries seem to vanish into emptiness. It begins to think, perhaps God is indifferent, perhaps my words do not matter, perhaps I am too small, too stained, too insignificant for the infinite to hear. And so, year after year, the soul continues in ritual, in outward forms, while an ache deepens within, the ache of distance from its eternal beloved. I tell you, this pain is not because God is absent. It is because you have been standing before the wrong door, knocking endlessly, while the true parent waits for you inside the home of your own soul. Imagine a child, lost in the street, weeping outside a stranger's house, convinced his father is nowhere to be found when in truth, the real home, warm with light, stands just a few steps away. This is the tragic illusion in which most seekers wander. They cry outside the wrong door, thinking God is far away in a distant heaven, when he abides already in the temple of silence within. The silence you have experienced, the unanswered prayers, are not signs of divine rejection but of misdirected effort. Words spoken only with the lips fall powerless to the ground. A restless mind cannot catch the subtle whispers of spirit. The infinite is not reached by noise, nor by outer display, nor by bargaining petitions. He is reached by vibration, by stillness, by the magnetic pull of love rising upward through the inner corridors of consciousness. The true way has been hidden, not because God wished to hide it, but because the restless senses have veiled it. It lies behind a veil thinner than a breath, nearer than your own heartbeat, waiting only to be discovered. That is why you have felt an emptiness, why you have sensed there must be something more. The soul remembers its origin, remembers the time when communion was effortless, when to exist was already to be with God. That memory stirs in you now as holy dissatisfaction. So I ask you this question. If there is a hidden way, a way so simple and so close, why has no one shown it to you until now? Why have so many teachers and rituals left you unsatisfied? It is because only one who has walked through the inner door can guide another through it. Only one who has heard God's voice in the cave of silence can tell you where to listen. I come to you not with theories, not with the weight of scriptures alone, but with the certainty of experience. I know that the silence you fear is not God's absence, but his waiting. I know that the tears of your heart have not been wasted. They are pearls stored in the treasure house of eternity, soon to be returned to you as divine consolation. Beloved soul, awaken from the nightmare of separation. Lift your eyes inward and recognize that your beloved has been with you all along, waiting for you to speak in the language of the soul, not of the lips. The hidden way is not hidden any longer. It is here, and it calls you even now. My dear one, now that you have recognized the futility of calling to the infinite with only outward words, let me remind you of a truth more ancient than the stars. You are not a beggar knocking at the gates of heaven. You are a child of the eternal, fashioned from the very vibration of God himself. Before the world was spun, before suns flamed into galaxies, the Lord sang forth his cosmic song, and out of that living Aum, every soul was born. That divine sound is not a myth nor a symbol, but the actual breath of the infinite made audible to the awakened inner ear. Within that sacred vibration lies your origin and your destiny. Just as a wave carries the full essence of the sea, though it appears for a moment separate, so your soul carries the complete language of God, for you are His emanation. To speak with God, then, is not to acquire a new ability, but to remember the natural speech you once had before you wandered into the noise of matter and the forgetfulness of Maya. Think of the sunbeam streaming through the window. It does not have to cry out to the sun, "Notice me, hear me." It simply shines, and in shining, it proclaims its oneness with the great star of which it is a part. In the same way, the soul does not have to manufacture elaborate phrases to capture God's attention. It has only to shine with sincerity, to radiate love, to vibrate with the divine consciousness from which it sprang, and instantly the infinite responds. Christ declared, "The kingdom of God is within you," Luke 17:21, and the Gita whispers the same secret. God is closer than breath, nearer than hands or feet. These are not poetic exaggerations. They are literal truths waiting to be verified in your own stillness. The reason you can never be satisfied with mere outer rituals is because the soul will only be content when it rests again in its source. Outward forms may soothe the senses, but the soul hungers for its true nourishment, which is direct communion. That is why every hymn, every ritual, every temple, every statue is meant not to be an end but a doorway, a reminder that the real temple is within, and the real altar is the spine where the divine fire burns. You may think you are small, unworthy, weak, but behind that thought lies the radiant memory that you are a spark of the eternal flame. When you say Father, you are not crying across infinite distance. You are calling inward to the one who already abides in the chamber of your heart, who beats your heart and breathes your breath. So, beloved soul, shift your perspective. Do not pray as a stranger shouting to the skies. Pray as a child who turns inward to a loving parent already holding you. Do not imagine God far away, but feel Him as the very power by which you speak, by which you think, by which you live. When you sit in stillness, you are not beginning a dialogue. You are remembering a dialogue that never ceased. Every atom in you is already whispering His name. Every breath is already proclaiming His presence. All that is required is to still the senses so that you may finally hear what has always been. This is the hidden way, to discover that the silence is full of speech, that the darkness behind closed eyes glimmers with radiant light, that your soul was made as an instrument tuned to the divine symphony. And when you recognize this, despair falls away and is replaced with the profound assurance that God has always been listening and that He waits only for you to remember the eternal language of love in which He and you are one. Beloved seeker, now let us pierce another veil. For though you now know that the soul is fashioned in the very image of the divine and can speak His language without effort, still you must understand why for so long your prayers seemed unanswered and your devotions unfulfilled. It is because you have been ensnared in the shimmering net of Maya, the cosmic delusion that makes shadows appear as substance and the echo seem louder than the original voice. Maya whispers in countless ways. It persuades you that God lives only in stone temples or in towering cathedrals. It tells you that repeating words mechanically will open the gates of eternity. It tempts you to mistake emotional intensity for true spiritual communion. These illusions are like painted doors upon a wall, beautiful perhaps, but they do not open. And though you knock with fervor, no answer comes, for there is no true passage behind them. How many lifetimes have souls cried at these false doors, thinking they have reached the threshold of heaven, only to be met with silence? Prayer without consciousness is like sending a letter without an address. It may be written with passion, but it never arrives. Ritual without inner awakening is like trying to quench your thirst by drinking the picture of a river. Emotional fervor, tears, and shouting, though sincere, can be like the roar of the storm that drowns the still small voice of spirit. The infinite cannot be compelled by noise, nor by outward pomp, nor by the restless parade of the senses. He listens only to the vibrations born of calm devotion, of steady attention, of consciousness aligned with His eternal rhythm. This is why so many seekers fall into despair, believing themselves abandoned, when in truth they were merely speaking a language God does not use. I recall in my own youth, as recorded in my autobiography, how when I closed my eyes in deep questioning, a flash of light opened before me, and I beheld radiant saints in meditation, their luminous forms shining like living cinema upon the screen of my forehead. I asked, "Who are you?" And the answer came, "We are the Himalayan yogis." And in that vision, I learned that God does not answer through outer noise, but through inner sight, through revelation when the senses are hushed. This is the way the Father speaks, in vibrations, in stillness, in sudden illumination, not in the clamor of restless words. That vision was a gift, teaching me early that the true voice of God is hidden beneath the static of human restlessness. Consider a radio always broadcasting a celestial symphony. If you try to listen while turning the dial wildly, or while static roars, you will hear nothing but chaos. Yet if you quiet yourself and tune the receiver exactly to the right vibration, suddenly the music pours forth in pristine clarity. So too is the divine voice. It is always, even now, resounding through every atom of creation, but the restless dial of your senses distorts it, the static of desires and worries drowns it, and so you imagine silence where in fact there is ceaseless song. This is the deception of Maya, and until you recognize it, you will continue to search outside, begging for crumbs of comfort, when the banquet of God's living presence waits within. Therefore, be not discouraged by the silence you thought was rejection. Understand it now as misdirection. Ordinary words, outer rituals, emotional turbulence, these are like hollow shells, powerless to pierce the veil. To commune with the infinite, you must learn to silence the storm, to calm the static, to lift your gaze inward and upward where the eternal broadcast streams unbroken. This realization will set you free from superstition, from blind repetition, from the weary cycle of disappointment. You will know at last that God has never withheld his voice. It is we who have allowed Maya to fill our ears with noise. And when you perceive this truth, you will feel within your own being the profound compassion of the divine, who waits patiently, year after year, life after life, for his wandering child to remember how to listen. Beloved soul, having now seen the snares of Maya and understood why the outer voices failed to reach the eternal, let us turn our attention to the luminous path that truly leads within, the hidden way by which the child may once again speak to the infinite parent. This way is not new. It is as ancient as the breath you now draw, as close as the silence that surrounds your thoughts when for a moment the mind is still. It has been called hidden only because few look inward, preferring the outer bazaar of noise and distraction. Yet the door has always been open, and the key has always been in your possession. What is that key? It is vibration, it is stillness, it is the soul's upward call expressed through devotion, through breath, through concentration at the seat of divine perception. Imagine your body as a cathedral not built with hands, and know that its true altar is the spine, upright and luminous. Stretched. Beloved one, have you not often wondered why the heavens seem sealed? Why your prayers rose like smoke into the night, only to be swallowed by silence? You knelt, you pleaded, you whispered words into the air, and yet no answering voice came to comfort you. The human heart grows weary when its cries seem to vanish into emptiness. It begins to think, perhaps God is indifferent, perhaps my words do not matter, perhaps I am too small, too stained, too insignificant for the infinite to hear. And so, year after year, the soul continues in ritual, in outward forms, while an ache deepens within, the ache of distance from its eternal beloved. I tell you, this pain is not because God is absent, it is because you have been standing before the wrong door, knocking endlessly, while the true parent waits for you inside the home of your own soul. Imagine a child, lost in the street, weeping outside a stranger's house, convinced his father is nowhere to be found when in truth, the real home, warm with light, stands just a few steps away. This is the tragic illusion in which most seekers wander. They cry outside the wrong door, thinking God is far away in a distant heaven, when he abides already in the temple of silence within. The silence you have experienced, the unanswered prayers, are not signs of divine rejection but of misdirected effort. Words spoken only with the lips fall powerless to the ground. A restless mind cannot catch the subtle whispers of spirit. The infinite is not reached by noise, nor by outer display, nor by bargaining petitions. He is reached by vibration, by stillness, by the magnetic pull of love rising upward through the inner corridors of consciousness. The true way has been hidden, not because God wished to hide it, but because the restless senses have veiled it. It lies behind a veil thinner than a breath, nearer than your own heartbeat, waiting only to be discovered. That is why you have felt an emptiness, why you have sensed there must be something more. The soul remembers its origin, remembers the time when communion was effortless, when to exist was already to be with God. That memory stirs in you now as holy dissatisfaction. So I ask you this question: if there is a hidden way, a way so simple and so close, why has no one shown it to you until now? Why have so many teachers and rituals left you unsatisfied? It is because only one who has walked through the inner door can guide another through it. Only one who has heard God's voice in the cave of silence can tell you where to listen. I come to you not with theories, not with the weight of scriptures alone, but with the certainty of experience. I know that the silence you fear is not God's absence, but His waiting. I know that the tears of your heart have not been wasted. They are pearls stored in the treasure house of eternity, soon to be returned to you as divine consolation. Beloved soul, awaken from the nightmare of separation. Lift your eyes inward and recognize that your beloved has been with you all along, waiting for you to speak in the language of the soul, not of the lips. The hidden way is not hidden any longer. It is here, and it calls you even now. My dear one, now that you have recognized the futility of calling to the infinite with only outward words, let me remind you of a truth more ancient than the stars. You are not a beggar knocking at the gates of heaven. You are a child of the eternal, fashioned from the very vibration of God Himself. Before the world was spun, before suns flamed into galaxies, the Lord sang forth His cosmic song, and out of that living Aum, every soul was born. That divine sound is not a myth nor a symbol, but the actual breath of the infinite made audible to the awakened inner ear. Within that sacred vibration lies your origin and your destiny. Just as a wave carries the full essence of the sea, though it appears for a moment separate, so your soul carries the complete language of God, for you are His emanation. To speak with God, then, is not to acquire a new ability, but to remember the natural speech you once had before you wandered into the noise of matter and the forgetfulness of Maya. Think of the sunbeam streaming through the window. It does not have to cry out to the sun, "Notice me, hear me." It simply shines, and in shining, it proclaims its oneness with the great star of which it is a part. In the same way, the soul does not have to manufacture elaborate phrases to capture God's attention. It has only to shine with sincerity, to radiate love, to vibrate with the divine consciousness from which it sprang, and instantly the infinite responds. Christ declared, "The kingdom of God is within you," Luke 17:21, and the Gita whispers the same secret. God is closer than breath, nearer than hands or feet. These are not poetic exaggerations. They are literal truths waiting to be verified in your own stillness. The reason you can never be satisfied with mere outer rituals is because the soul will only be content when it rests again in its source. Outward forms may soothe the senses, but the soul hungers for its true nourishment, which is direct communion. That is why every hymn, every ritual, every temple, every statue is meant not to be an end but a doorway, a reminder that the real temple is within, and the real altar is the spine where the divine fire burns. You may think you are small, unworthy, weak, but behind that thought lies the radiant memory that you are a spark of the eternal flame. When you say Father, you are not crying across infinite distance. You are calling inward to the one who already abides in the chamber of your heart, who beats your heart and breathes your breath. So, beloved soul, shift your perspective. Do not pray as a stranger shouting to the skies. Pray as a child who turns inward to a loving parent already holding you. Do not imagine God far away, but feel Him as the very power by which you speak, by which you think, by which you live. When you sit in stillness, you are not beginning a dialogue. You are remembering a dialogue that never ceased. Every atom in you is already whispering His name. Every breath is already proclaiming His presence. All that is required is to still the senses so that you may finally hear what has always been. This is the hidden way, to discover that the silence is full of speech, that the darkness behind closed eyes glimmers with radiant light, that your soul was made as an instrument tuned to the divine symphony. And when you recognize this, despair falls away and is replaced with the profound assurance that God has always been listening and that He waits only for you to remember the eternal language of love in which He and you are one. Beloved seeker, now let us pierce another veil. For though you now know that the soul is fashioned in the very image of the divine and can speak his language without effort, still you must understand why for so long your prayers seemed unanswered and your devotions unfulfilled. It is because you have been ensnared in the shimmering net of Maya, the cosmic delusion that makes shadows appear as substance and the echo seem louder than the original voice. Maya whispers in countless ways. It persuades you that God lives only in stone temples or in towering cathedrals. It tells you that repeating words mechanically will open the gates of eternity. It tempts you to mistake emotional intensity for true spiritual communion. These illusions are like painted doors upon a wall, beautiful perhaps, but they do not open. And though you knock with fervor, no answer comes, for there is no true passage behind them. How many lifetimes have souls cried at these false doors, thinking they have reached the threshold of heaven, only to be met with silence? Prayer without consciousness is like sending a letter without an address. It may be written with passion, but it never arrives. Ritual without inner awakening is like trying to quench your thirst by drinking the picture of a river. Emotional fervor, tears, and shouting, though sincere, can be like the roar of the storm that drowns the still small voice of spirit. The infinite cannot be compelled by noise, nor by outward pomp, nor by the restless parade of the senses. He listens only to the vibrations born of calm devotion, of steady attention, of consciousness aligned with his eternal rhythm. This is why so many seekers fall into despair, believing themselves abandoned, when in truth they were merely speaking a language God does not use. I recall in my own youth, as recorded in my autobiography, how when I closed my eyes in deep questioning, a flash of light opened before me, and I beheld radiant saints in meditation, their luminous forms shining like living cinema upon the screen of my forehead. I asked, "Who are you?" And the answer came, "We are the Himalayan yogis." And in that vision I learned that God does not answer through outer noise, but through inner sight, through revelation when the senses are hushed. This is the way the Father speaks, in vibrations, in stillness, in sudden illumination, not in the clamor of restless words. That vision was a gift, teaching me early that the true voice of God is hidden beneath the static of human restlessness. Consider a radio always broadcasting a celestial symphony. If you try to listen while turning the dial wildly, or while static roars, you will hear nothing but chaos. Yet if you quiet yourself and tune the receiver exactly to the right vibration, suddenly the music pours forth in pristine clarity. So too is the divine voice. It is always, even now, resounding through every atom of creation, but the restless dial of your senses distorts it, the static of desires and worries drowns it, and so you imagine silence where in fact there is ceaseless song. This is the deception of Maya, and until you recognize it, you will continue to search outside, begging for crumbs of comfort, when the banquet of God's living presence waits within. Therefore, be not discouraged by the silence you thought was rejection. Understand it now as misdirection. Ordinary words, outer rituals, emotional turbulence, these are like hollow shells, powerless to pierce the veil. To commune with the infinite, you must learn to silence the storm, to calm the static, to lift your gaze inward and upward where the eternal broadcast streams unbroken. This realization will set you free from superstition, from blind repetition, from the weary cycle of disappointment. You will know at last that God has never withheld his voice. It is we who have allowed Maya to fill our ears with noise. And when you perceive this truth, you will feel within your own being the profound compassion of the divine, who waits patiently, year after year, life after life, for his wandering child to remember how to listen. Beloved soul, having now seen the snares of Maya and understood why the outer voices failed to reach the eternal, let us turn our attention to the luminous path that truly leads within, the hidden way by which the child may once again speak to the infinite parent. This way is not new. It is as ancient as the breath you now draw, as close as the silence that surrounds your thoughts when for a moment the mind is still. It has been called hidden only because few look inward, preferring the outer bazaar of noise and distraction. Yet the door has always been open, and the key has always been in your possession. What is that key? It is vibration, it is stillness, it is the soul's upward call expressed through devotion, through breath, through concentration at the seat of divine perception. Imagine your body as a cathedral not built with hands, and know that its true altar is the spine, upright and luminous, stretching from the base to the crown like a living pillar of light. Upon that altar the fire of spirit ever burns, though few remember to approach it in reverence. Each breath you take is an offering laid upon that altar, for the breath is not merely mechanical air, it is prana, divine intelligence in motion, carrying the life force by which the universe itself is sustained. Most live without awareness of this mystery, squandering their breath in restlessness, never realizing that the very tool by which they could enter God's temple is constantly in use. But if you, beloved one, learn to breathe with reverence, to guide that breath into stillness, to feel its rhythm harmonize with devotion, then suddenly the doors swing open, and what was once hidden is revealed as clear as the rising sun. Picture yourself seated quietly, the turmoil of the day set aside, the senses calmed, and your gaze gently lifted to the spiritual eye between the eyebrows, that holy center where the soul beholds the light of the infinite. You close your eyes not to retreat into darkness, but to enter the secret chamber where God waits. As you inhale, imagine that each breath is not merely entering your lungs but rising through the altar of the spine, carrying your devotion upward like fragrant incense. As you exhale, surrender all tension, all distractions, all burdens, until you feel the calm ocean of peace expanding within you. Then, without strain, without hurry, whisper silently in your heart, "Beloved Father, reveal thyself." Do not shout, do not beg. Simply call with the confidence of a child who knows the parent listens. This is the hidden way, hidden only to those who scatter their attention outward. It is the remembrance that God does not respond to noise but to attunement, not to the cluttered cries of the restless mind, but to the pure, upward breath of devotion. Here, in this inner sanctuary, you discover that prayer is not sending words into the sky, but awakening vibrations that rise along the inner altar, converging at the seat of divine vision where the infinite presence answers. The more you practice this sacred art, the more natural it becomes, until every breath becomes prayer, every heartbeat becomes a call, every moment of stillness becomes communion. Then you will know why saints and sages declared that the kingdom of heaven is within, for you yourself will feel the gates opening, and you will realize that God has been waiting in that silence, yearning to speak with you directly. Now, my dear one, let us deepen this sacred exploration, for it is not enough to know that stillness, vibration, and inward turning are the doors to God. You must also learn the sacred science of divine speech, the holy alchemy by which words, when united with devotion and attuned to the eternal vibration of Aum, become radiant arrows that pierce through the veils of illusion and reach directly into the heart of the infinite. Understand first that words in themselves are but symbols, shadows of thought, and thoughts themselves are shadows of deeper vibrations. When words are uttered without consciousness, they are like hollow reeds making empty noise. But when the same words are infused with love, with focus, with the recognition that they ride upon the current of Aum, the primal sound that is God's breath in creation, then those words transform into carriers of consciousness, blazing with power, irresistible to the divine listener. Consider how a spark becomes fire only when fuel and oxygen are present. Likewise, words become living prayer only when devotion fuels them, and the vibration of Aum carries them upward. A whispered phrase such as, "Beloved Father, reveal thyself," might seem simple, even childlike, but if spoken from the depth of the soul, it carries the weight of the universe. For it resonates with the truth that God is both Father and Mother, ever near, and that the soul is His child entitled to communion. Such prayer does not crawl timidly toward heaven. It soars like a flame leaping to its source. The Bhagavad Gita tells us that God responds to the devotee in whatever way he is approached, and Christ assured that those who ask with faith will receive. The science behind these promises is that faith aligns the vibratory frequency of the soul with the eternal frequency of spirit, and in that resonance there can be no barrier, no delay, no silence. When you breathe with reverence, releasing tension, calming the restless waves of thought, and then inwardly chant God's name, be it Father, Mother, Beloved, Christ, Krishna, or simply the unspoken yearning of the heart, you begin to feel a subtle current rising in your spine, an energy lifting your consciousness upward. That current is the very chariot upon which your prayer travels. In such a moment you may perceive a flicker of inner light, a subtle sound like distant bells or rushing waters, or simply a vast stillness that feels more alive than all the noises of the world. These are signs that your words have been received, that you have spoken not only into space but into spirit, and spirit has responded with his signature of presence. Do not imagine that long speeches, dramatic outpourings, or ornate phrases are required. In truth, a single word, when spoken with perfect devotion, is enough to summon eternity. The name of God, whispered with love, contains more power than hours of distracted chanting. The ancients knew this and passed on mantras, sacred syllables charged with centuries of devotion, not as magical incantations but as vibratory keys to unlock hidden doors in consciousness. Yet even without such mantras, your own heart's cry, when sincerely attuned, "Beloved, consider this. The very moment you were born, the stars above conspired not randomly, but with precise harmony. Your birth year, a seemingly simple number, carries within it a divine code, a sacred message encoded by the universe itself, which reveals hidden truths about the path your soul has chosen before this incarnation. This number is more than a mere mark of time. It is a cosmic clock, its hands pointing to the spiritual blueprint etched in your soul's essence, waiting patiently for you to awaken to its meaning. Imagine receiving a sealed letter from the divine, addressed to you alone. Its contents hold the key to your destiny, the map of your soul's journey through lifetimes. Yet the envelope remains unopened, its message unknown, until you dare to break the seal. So too, your birth year's last digit is that seal, a key to unlocking the mysteries of who you are, where you have come from, and the sacred work you are here to do. The realization that your birth year is not mere chance, but a divine symbol, is a spiritual shock that stirs the soul awake. It challenges the deep-seated belief that our lives are random, unplanned, and adrift. Instead, it calls you to awaken to the magnificent orchestration of your existence, crafted by the hand of God with infinite love and wisdom. Beloved, this awakening curiosity is the first step on a path that leads beyond the ordinary, inviting you to step through the veil of everyday life and glimpse the eternal truths that await. Now, let us open the door together and unlock the profound meaning hidden in the last digit of your birth year. Beloved, to comprehend the divine code within your birth year, we must first recognize the sacred language in which the cosmos speaks the language of numbers. Numbers are not mere abstractions or tools of calculation. They are living vibrations, expressions of the divine order woven into the very fabric of creation. Each number resonates with a unique frequency, a specific spiritual message that echoes through the corridors of time and space, guiding the soul's evolution with precision and grace. Picture a celestial symphony, where each note plays its part in a harmonious whole. Just as a single discordant note can jar the music, so too can the soul lose harmony when disconnected from its numeric rhythm. Yet when attuned to the divine music of the cosmos, the soul dances in perfect cadence with the universe, finding its unique melody and place in the grand composition. Consider also the sacred geometry of ancient temples, their shapes, their proportions, their patterns designed not merely for beauty, but to reflect cosmic principles and to awaken those who enter into higher states of awareness. Numbers underlie these designs as sacred keys to divine knowledge, just as they underlie the patterns of your own life. The last digit of your birth year is a symbol, a numeric seed containing within it the geometry of your soul's path. In reverence and wonder, we acknowledge that each number is a living message from the divine, crafted to illuminate your unique journey. As you open your heart to this sacred language, you will begin to perceive the whispers of your soul, the lessons it seeks to learn, and the gifts it is ready to unfold. Beloved, with this understanding, let us now delve into the veil of illusion that clouds this divine order, so that the hidden hand of God in your life may be revealed with clarity and love. Beloved, the veil that obscures the divine order of your birth year's sacred code is woven from the threads of Maya, the great illusion that conceals truth and causes the soul to wander in confusion. From the limited perspective of the mortal mind, life appears random, accidents abound, and destiny is dismissed as mere chance. The birth year becomes a simple date, a number on a page, with no deeper meaning. But this is the fog that hides the garden. It is the mist that blurs the sun's face and leaves the traveler uncertain of the path. Imagine standing in a lush garden, shrouded by early morning mist. The flowers, the trees, the gentle streams are all present, but their beauty and purpose remain hidden by the haze. The gardener knows the secrets of this garden and awaits the sun's warmth to lift the veil so all may see the vibrant life beneath. In the same way, the divine plan of your soul's journey awaits the lifting of Maya's fog, revealing the harmony and purpose that have always been there. Or, consider a cracked mirror, its surface fractured and distorted. To the eye focused on the cracks, the reflection is broken, confusing, even frightening. Yet beneath the imperfections lies the true glass capable of reflecting the full light and beauty of creation. When you lift your gaze beyond the cracks of confusion and doubt, you begin to glimpse the perfect reflection of your soul's divine purpose, clear and unbroken. This unmasking is a gentle but profound process. It calls for the courage to question the assumptions that have bound you, the willingness to see beyond appearances, and the openness to receive a higher truth. When the veil lifts, even briefly, you will recognize the hand of God guiding your every step, aligning the digits of your birth year with the lessons and blessings of your path. Beloved, as this veil dissolves, love and purpose shine forth, illuminating the way ahead. With this light, we turn now to the sacred meanings held within each last digit, beginning with the numbers 0 through 4 gateways to the first steps on your soul's pilgrimage. Beloved, as we step now into the sacred teaching of the numbers 0 through 4, let us remember that these digits are not mere figures but living portals into the soul's deepest attributes and karmic lessons. Each number is a compass, pointing to unique qualities that shape the landscape of your journey, the challenges you will face, and the gifts you are called to develop. To understand these numbers is to hold a lantern that illuminates the path ahead, helping you walk with greater awareness and grace. 0, beloved, is the sacred circle, the symbol of the infinite, the unmanifest, and the eternal source. It is the beginning and the end, the womb from which all numbers arise and to which they return. Those whose birth year ends in 0 carry the profound opportunity to awaken to the boundlessness of spirit, to dissolve all limitations of ego and form, and to embrace the fullness of divine unity. Like the empty space at the center of a blossoming lotus, 0 invites you to find wholeness in emptiness, to recognize the vastness within your own being. 1 is the number of divine leadership, individuality, and new beginnings. It is the spark of creation, the first step into manifestation. Souls with this number are called to walk the path of pioneering courage, to embody the light of the soul that shines uniquely in the world. Like the dawn's first ray piercing the darkness, 1 heralds the birth of consciousness and invites you to step confidently into your purpose, trusting that you are supported by the infinite. 2 is the sacred number of duality and harmony, representing the dance of relationships and balance. Those born under its influence are called to cultivate cooperation, empathy, and partnership. Like the meeting of 2 rivers that merge to form a greater stream, 2 invites you to learn the art of unity without losing your distinct light, to find wholeness in togetherness. Your soul's path is deeply entwined with the souls of others, and your growth flourishes through connection and compassion. 3 is the number of creativity, joy, and expression. It sings with the music of the cosmos, inviting you to awaken the artist within and celebrate the divine playfulness of life. Souls marked by 3 carry a luminous lightness, a capacity to inspire and uplift through words, art, or joyful service. Like the blossoming of spring flowers, 3 calls you to open your heart fully and share the fragrance of your soul with the world. 4 is the foundation, the number of stability, discipline, and earthly manifestation. It grounds the spiritual journey in practical reality, urging the soul to build a solid structure upon which divine wisdom may rest. Like the 4 pillars of a sacred temple, 4 supports the work of transformation through steady effort, responsibility, and faithfulness. Your soul's task is to harmonize the spiritual with the material, bringing heaven to earth through your devoted service. Beloved, as you contemplate these numbers, see not labels or limits but invitations, sacred calls from your soul to awaken the qualities that will illuminate your path. Now, with reverence, we turn to the digits 5 through 9, where the divine unfolds in the flowering of deeper lessons and greater gifts. Beloved, as we continue this sacred unveiling, let us now turn our gaze to the last digits 5 through 9 numbers that carry the rich fragrance of the soul's flowering, the deep unfolding of karmic lessons, and the blossoming of divine gifts. Each of these digits represents a unique pattern of energies, challenges, and spiritual opportunities that beckon you toward higher realms of consciousness and purpose. To know these numbers is to listen to the sacred song your soul sings and to dance in harmony with its eternal rhythm. 5. Beloved is the number of freedom, transformation, and divine adventure. It calls the soul to break the chains of limitation, to embrace change with courage, and to explore the vast landscape of life with open eyes and a willing heart. Those marked by 5 carry the restless wind of the spirit, urging them to seek truth beyond convention and to live authentically. Like a bird soaring on the currents of the sky, 5 invites you to lift beyond fear and limitation, to claim the boundless freedom that is your birthright. 6 is the number of harmony, love, and service, the sacred balance between the inner and outer worlds. Souls under this influence are called to nurture, to heal, and to create sanctuaries of peace and compassion wherever they go. Like a gentle river flowing steadily, 6 teaches patience, responsibility, and the power of unconditional love. Your soul's path is deeply entwined with the welfare of others, and your growth flourishes as you give selflessly from your heart. 7 is the number of spiritual wisdom, introspection, and divine mystery. It draws the soul inward, inviting deep contemplation and the quest for higher knowledge. Those touched by 7 carry a light of inner vision and mystical insight, often finding themselves drawn to meditation, study, and the exploration of sacred truths. Like the quiet depths of a mountain lake reflecting the stars, 7 calls you to cultivate stillness and to listen for the subtle whispers of the divine. 8 is the number of abundance, power, and karmic balance. It represents the law of cause and effect in its fullest expression, inviting the soul to master the flow of giving and receiving in all aspects of life. Souls with this number are called to cultivate integrity, strength, and generosity, to build bridges of prosperity that serve not only themselves but the greater good. Like the mighty oak that stands firm through storms, 8 invites you to root yourself deeply in truth and to rise with grace. 9 is the number of completion, compassion, and universal love. It marks the soul nearing the culmination of a great cycle, ready to release the old and embrace the new with open arms. Those influenced by 9 carry the expansive heart of the world, embracing all beings with kindness and understanding. Like the setting sun that colors the sky with warm light, 9 invites you to embody forgiveness, wisdom, and the joyous surrender that prepares the way for rebirth. Beloved, in reflecting upon these numbers, remember that they are not fixed destinies, but invitations, sacred calls to awaken your highest qualities and to navigate your karmic lessons with love and courage. With these teachings in your heart, you are now ready to see how these soul patterns manifest in your life's journey, guiding your personality, challenges, and gifts. Beloved, as you begin to recognize the sacred pattern inscribed in the last digit of your birth year, it is natural to wonder how this ancient code unfolds in the tapestry of your life, how it shapes your personality, colors your experiences, and reveals the gifts and challenges you are called to embrace. Your soul's path is like a river, flowing within banks formed by this divine number, guiding the currents of your destiny with a wisdom far beyond the grasp of the ordinary mind. Imagine a river coursing through a landscape, its shape determined by the contours of the earth, yet its flow ever-changing with the seasons and weather. Sometimes the water runs swiftly and clear, cutting new paths and embracing fresh possibilities. Other times, it pools quietly, reflecting the sky and inviting contemplation. Just as the river adapts without losing its essence, so does your life unfold within the divine framework of your soul code, shaped by the lessons and energies of your number. See also the reflection of the moon on a still pond, shimmering and bright, yet ever shifting with the slightest breeze or ripple. Your personality and life circumstances are the surface upon which the soul's reflection dances, sometimes clear and calm, sometimes stirred by the winds of challenge. But the moon itself remains unchanged, a steady beacon of light amidst the shifting forms. In this way, your deeper self remains constant even as the outer expression of your number's qualities ebbs and flows. Tenderly, beloved, begin to observe your own life through this lens. What patterns emerge that resonate with the spiritual attributes of your birth year's last digit? Where do you find the call to develop courage, compassion, wisdom, or freedom? Which challenges appear repeatedly, urging you to awaken new strengths? And where do your gifts shine, guiding you and others toward joy and peace? This awareness is not meant to confine you within labels or predictions, but to offer a loving map, a divine invitation to greater self-understanding and conscious choice. With this clarity, you can navigate your path with intention, aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with the sacred vibration of your soul's true nature. Now, beloved, we will explore the spiritual practices that harmonize your life with this soul code, tuning your inner instrument so that it may sing in perfect accord with the divine symphony. Beloved, once you have begun to perceive the sacred pattern within your soul, it becomes essential to cultivate spiritual practices that harmonize your entire being with this divine code. Just as a master musician tunes their instrument to the perfect pitch before a performance, so too must you attune your mind, heart, and spirit to the vibrations of your soul's unique path. These practices serve as a bridge, connecting the earthly self to the celestial blueprint inscribed within your birth year, awakening your consciousness to the eternal rhythms that guide your evolution. Begin with meditation, the sacred art of stilling the restless mind to hear the voice of the soul. Find a quiet place where you can sit comfortably, upright but relaxed, and allow your breath to become your anchor. Inhale deeply through the nostrils, drawing in the life force, and exhale gently, releasing all tension and distraction. As your breath slows and your body settles, lift your inner gaze to the spiritual eye, that luminous point between your eyebrows where divine wisdom is known. In this stillness, bring to mind the last digit of your birth year, envisioning it as a radiant symbol glowing with light and meaning. Let your awareness dwell upon it softly, inviting its spiritual qualities to infuse your being. Affirmations are another powerful tool to align with your soul code. Speak or silently repeat phrases tailored to the energies of your number, allowing each word to resonate deeply within your heart. For example, if your number calls you to courage, affirm, "I walk in divine courage. Fear has no hold on me." If your number speaks of compassion, say, "My heart overflows with unconditional love for all beings." These affirmations are not mere words, but living vibrations that rewire your consciousness and open the pathways for transformation. Devotion, the loving surrender to the divine, is the flame that ignites these practices. Offer your meditation and affirmations as a prayer, a sacred gift, inviting God's grace to move through you and perfect your alignment. In devotion, the smallest practice becomes a profound act of union, a meeting point where your soul's unique melody blends with the cosmic symphony. Through daily dedication to these spiritual disciplines, you nurture the seed of your birth year's divine code, allowing it to grow into a mighty tree whose branches shelter your life with wisdom, peace, and joy. This sacred tuning brings clarity to your path, deepens your self-understanding, and accelerates your journey toward the realization of your highest self. Beloved, having prepared your instrument, let us now enter together into a guided meditation, a sacred immersion in the light and truth of your soul's hidden path. Beloved, now we enter the sacred silence where the soul speaks most clearly, the holy ground of meditation where your soul's hidden path begins to unfold with luminous clarity. Close your eyes gently and allow the world around you to soften and fade into a quiet mist. Feel the weight of your body grounded upon the earth, the steady rhythm of your breath flowing like a gentle river, carrying you deeper into the stillness where the divine whispers are heard. As your breath deepens, bring your inner gaze softly to the spiritual eye, the point between your eyebrows where the light of God shines as a radiant star. Imagine this star growing brighter with each breath, its light piercing the veils of Maya, revealing the sacred patterns etched in your soul. Now, call forth the last digit of your birth year, envisioning it as a glowing symbol bathed in this divine illumination. See it not as a mere number, but as a living seed pulsing with your unique spiritual signature, waiting to burst forth into full bloom. With each inhale, draw the light of this sacred symbol into your heart. With each exhale, release all doubts, fears, and distractions that keep you from fully embodying your soul's path. Allow the vibrations of the number to ripple through your being, awakening dormant gifts, clarifying your purpose, and aligning your consciousness with the eternal rhythm of the cosmos. Feel the deep peace that arises from this alignment, a peace that surpasses understanding and anchors you in the eternal now. Let yourself rest in this sacred communion for several breaths, receiving whatever insights, images, or sensations the divine reveals. Perhaps you see a vision, hear a song, or simply feel a profound sense of knowing. Know that this is the voice of your soul speaking through the veil, offering guidance and reassurance for the journey ahead. There is no need to grasp or analyze. Simply receive with open heart and trust. When you feel ready, gently bring your awareness back to your physical body, carrying with you the light and clarity of this meditation. Remember, beloved, that this sacred experience is not confined to this moment alone. It is a wellspring you can return to daily, deepening your connection with your soul's hidden path and allowing it to unfold fully in your life. Now, as you carry this awakening forward, we will explore how to live in conscious alignment with your divine purpose each day, letting the truth of your birth year's code guide your steps with wisdom and grace. Beloved, the true power of awakening to your soul's hidden path lies not only in moments of meditation or insight, but in the sacred integration of that truth into the daily rhythm of your life. To live consciously aligned with the divine code encoded in the last digit of your birth year is to carry a steady flame within a lamp that lights your way through the shadows of doubt, confusion, and distraction. Each day offers countless opportunities to remember who you are, to choose your higher nature, and to walk steadily upon your sacred path. Imagine a traveler setting out at dawn, their lamp lit and held high. Though the road winds through forests, over hills, and across uncertain terrain, the traveler's heart is confident, guided by the steady glow that never falters. So it must be with you, beloved. Whether you face challenges or joys, moments of clarity or periods of struggle, the light of your soul's truth is always there to illuminate your steps, if you but return to it with awareness and devotion. To carry this light throughout the day, begin by setting aside moments of remembrance, brief pauses in the midst of activity where you reconnect with the sacred code within you. These may be a silent prayer upon waking, a quiet breath before a challenging conversation, or a moment of gratitude before sleep. In these simple acts, you affirm your alignment with the divine vibration of your soul's path, strengthening your capacity to live from that place of truth. Consider also the power of intention. As you move through your daily tasks, consciously dedicate your actions to the higher purpose revealed by your birth year's number. Whether it is patience, courage, compassion, or wisdom, let your choices reflect these qualities, knowing that every small step in alignment weaves your life more deeply into the cosmic tapestry. Like a steady flame nurtured by careful tending, your spiritual purpose grows brighter and more radiant with each intentional act. Beloved, this conscious living does not mean you will never face doubt or distraction. These are part of the human journey. But it means that when they arise, you have the tools and the inner strength to return to your center, to remember the sacred code that guides you, to feel the love that sustains you, and to walk forward with renewed clarity and grace. As we approach the close of this sacred teaching, beloved, let us together seal your awakening with a holy vow, a heartfelt commitment to live in harmony with your soul's hidden path and to shine your light boldly in the world. Beloved, as the journey we have shared comes to its sacred culmination, it is fitting that we seal the awakening you have received with a solemn vow, a consecration of your soul's purpose, and your commitment to walk the path revealed by the divine code of your birth year. This vow is more than words. It is a living promise that binds your heart to the eternal, a beacon that will guide you through the changing seasons of life with unwavering faith and courage. Find now a place of stillness within yourself, where the breath flows smoothly and the heart opens in quiet reverence. Let your awareness rise to the spiritual eye, the radiant center of divine knowing between your eyebrows. Feel the presence of God enfolding you, the infinite source from which all wisdom and strength flow. In this sacred space, speak these words, not as a casual utterance, but as a heartfelt dedication. I offer my life to the divine plan. I embrace the path shown by the sacred number that marks my birth. May my thoughts, words, and deeds align with this divine pattern, bringing light and love to myself and all beings. I vow to walk with courage, to grow in wisdom, and to shine as a beacon of truth and grace. So may it be, and so I commit. Allow these words to ripple through your entire being, planting seeds of steadfastness and clarity in the soil of your soul. Feel the blessing of this vow descending upon you like golden light, sealing your intention and fortifying your spirit. This moment marks the beginning of a new chapter 1, in which your life unfolds consciously, joyfully, and in harmony with the eternal rhythms of the cosmos. Carry this vow with you as a sacred flame, a source of guidance and strength. When doubts arise or the path seems obscured, return to it. Let it rekindle your faith and courage. Remember always that you are not alone. The divine current flows through you, connecting you to all souls walking their paths and to the infinite source of all light. Beloved, may this blessing rest upon you now and forever, illuminating your way and nurturing your soul's deepest yearnings. Go forth with peace, with purpose, and with the joyful certainty that your birth year's sacred code is your guiding star on this magnificent journey home. 10 minutes before you sleep tonight, you can activate your body's miraculous self-healing powers that work while you rest. I'm going to teach you the ancient practice that can heal chronic pain overnight, restore damaged organs within weeks, and reverse years of physical deterioration using nothing but the divine energy that's already flowing through your body. This isn't wishful thinking. This is spiritual science that I've witnessed transform thousands of lives. What I'm about to share will change how you see your body's healing capacity forever. You'll discover that what you've called miraculous healing is actually the normal function of a body that's properly connected to its divine energy source. In the next 45 minutes, you're going to learn the most powerful healing technique I've ever discovered. A 10-minute practice that activates your body's divine healing intelligence and works miracles while you sleep. You'll understand why your body hasn't been healing itself completely, how divine energy operates through physical matter, and exactly how to direct healing force to any part of your body that needs restoration. You'll discover the specific visualization, breathing, and energy direction techniques that turn your bedroom into a healing temple and your sleep into divine medicine. Most importantly, you'll learn how to work with your body's natural healing rhythms to create overnight transformations that will amaze your doctors and inspire everyone who knows you. This isn't about replacing medical care. It's about awakening the divine healer within you that can work miracles no external medicine can accomplish. By tomorrow morning, you can begin experiencing the healing power that every human being possesses, but few people know how to access. I know how it feels to watch your body struggle with illness while you feel helpless to truly heal it. You've tried medications that only mask symptoms. You've endured treatments that drain your energy while barely touching your real healing needs. You've been told that certain conditions are chronic, incurable, or just part of aging. But I've spent decades discovering that your body isn't just a physical machine that breaks down and wears out. Your body is a divine creation animated by spiritual energy. And when you learn to work with this energy consciously, healing miracles become as natural as breathing. The practice I'm going to teach you tonight doesn't cost anything, doesn't require special equipment or training, and works regardless of your age, condition, or medical history. It's based on the same spiritual principles that allowed great saints to heal instantly and maintain perfect health throughout long lives of service. What most people call miraculous healing is actually the normal function of a body that's properly connected to its divine energy source. Every cell in your body is designed to receive divine healing energy, but this reception only happens when you know how to open these spiritual channels. Today, we'll explore 4 sacred dimensions of divine healing that will transform your body into a temple of perfect health. First, I'll reveal why your body isn't healing itself completely and how to remove the spiritual blocks that prevent your natural healing intelligence from operating at full power. Then, we'll discover the 10-minute practice itself, the specific techniques of divine healing that you can begin using tonight. You'll learn the exact visualizations, prayers, and energy direction methods that activate your body's miraculous self-repair mechanisms. Next, I'll teach you how to program your healing while you sleep, directing divine energy to specific organs, systems, or conditions that need restoration. You'll understand how to work with your body's natural healing rhythms to create the fastest possible recovery. Finally, we'll explore how to maintain this healing energy throughout your day, creating continuous divine restoration that keeps your body functioning at its highest possible level. You'll learn to live in such harmony with divine energy that illness becomes nearly impossible. But here's what might surprise you most. This practice doesn't just heal existing problems. It actually reverses aging, increases vitality, and creates such radiant health that people will ask what you're doing differently. Your body will become younger, stronger, and more beautiful as divine energy flows through every cell. What we'll discover together will give you power over your physical experience that most people never realize they possess. You'll understand that perfect health isn't just possible. It's your natural state when your body is properly aligned with divine energy. So prepare to become your own divine healer and transform every night into a miracle of restoration and renewal. My dear friend, before you can activate your body's miraculous healing powers, you must understand what your body truly is and why it hasn't been healing itself completely. This understanding will transform not just how you approach healing, but how you see your entire physical experience. Your body is not merely flesh, bones, and blood. It's not just a biological machine that follows mechanical laws of chemistry and physics. Your body is a divine creation, animated by spiritual energy, designed to be a perfect channel for God's healing power. Every cell, every organ, every system in your physical form is actually concentrated divine energy temporarily taking material shape. This truth isn't mystical philosophy, it's practical spiritual science. The same divine intelligence that created your body is constantly working to maintain, repair, and restore it. Right now, as you listen to these words, millions of cells in your body are dying and being replaced with perfect new ones. Your heart is beating without your conscious control. Your lungs are breathing automatically. Your immune system is fighting infections you don't even know you have. All of this miraculous activity is divine healing energy in action. But here's what most people don't realize. This natural healing process is operating at only a tiny fraction of its true capacity. Your body is designed to heal completely from any illness, reverse any damage, restore any function that's been lost. The limitation isn't in your body's healing ability, it's in your connection to the divine energy that powers this healing. Think of divine healing energy like electricity flowing through your home. The power company provides unlimited electricity, but how much reaches your appliances depends on the condition of the wiring in your house. If the wiring is damaged, corroded, or disconnected, your appliances won't receive the power they need to function properly. Similarly, divine healing energy is constantly flowing from God toward your body, ready to repair any damage and restore perfect health. But this healing energy can only reach your cells through spiritual channels that most people have unknowingly blocked or damaged through wrong thinking, negative emotions, and unconscious living. The first spiritual block that prevents complete healing is what I call separation consciousness. The belief that your body is separate from divine intelligence, subject to random illness and inevitable decay. When you believe your body is just a physical machine with no spiritual connection, you cut yourself off from the divine healing energy that wants to flow through every cell. This separation consciousness creates a kind of spiritual static that interferes with your body's reception of healing energy. It's like trying to listen to a radio station while standing next to electrical interference. The signal is being broadcast clearly, but the interference prevents clean reception. I learned this lesson early in my spiritual journey when I was struggling with a persistent illness that wouldn't respond to any medical treatment. Despite all my spiritual practices, my body seemed to be getting weaker rather than stronger. In deep meditation, I asked for divine guidance about this contradiction. The answer came as a profound realization. I had been practicing spirituality with my mind while unconsciously believing that my body was separate from God's care. I was praying for healing while secretly believing that physical illness was natural and inevitable. This split consciousness was blocking the very healing energy I was asking to receive. The moment I truly understood that my body was as much a part of divine creation as my soul, everything changed. I began relating to my body not as a burden to be healed, but as a sacred temple designed to channel God's perfect health. Within days, the illness that had persisted for months began to clear, and within weeks, I experienced more vibrant health than I had ever known. The second spiritual block is victim consciousness, the belief that illness happens to you randomly, that your body is at the mercy of germs, genetics, environmental factors, and aging processes beyond your control. This consciousness makes you a passive recipient of whatever physical experiences come your way, rather than an active director of divine healing energy. But the truth is, you are not a victim of your physical experience. You are a co-creator with God, endowed with the power to direct divine energy toward perfect health and vitality. Your consciousness, your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and spiritual alignment directly affects your body's ability to receive and use healing energy. This doesn't mean you're to blame for illness or that all physical problems are caused by wrong thinking. It means you have far more power over your physical experience than you've been taught to believe. When you claim this power consciously and align your consciousness with divine healing principles, your body's natural healing intelligence can operate at its full miraculous capacity. The third block is limitation consciousness, accepting diagnoses, prognoses, and medical opinions as unchangeable reality rather than current conditions that can be transformed through divine intervention. When you believe that certain conditions are incurable, chronic, or permanent, you unconsciously close your mind to the healing possibilities that divine energy can create. I've witnessed countless healings that medical science would call impossible, not because the healings violated natural law, but because they demonstrated natural laws that medical science doesn't yet understand. Your body's healing capacity isn't limited by current medical knowledge. It's limited only by your faith in divine power and your willingness to cooperate with healing energy. The fourth block is fear consciousness, the constant worry about illness, aging, and physical vulnerability that actually attracts the very experiences you're afraid of. Fear creates tension in your body that blocks the flow of healing energy, while also programming your subconscious mind to manifest the physical problems you're focusing on. Divine healing energy flows most freely through consciousness that's peaceful, trusting, and aligned with God's perfect love. When you live in fear about your body's vulnerability, you create exactly the conditions that prevent divine healing from reaching the cells that need it most. But understanding these blocks also reveals the solution. When you shift from separation consciousness to unity consciousness, recognizing your body as a divine creation animated by God's healing energy, you immediately begin receiving more healing power. When you move from victim consciousness to co-creator consciousness, you start directing healing energy consciously rather than just hoping for random healing. When you release limitation consciousness and open your mind to divine possibilities, you allow healing miracles that medical knowledge says are impossible. And when you dissolve fear consciousness into faith consciousness, you create the peaceful, trusting state that allows divine healing energy to flow without resistance. The most profound truth about your body's healing capacity is this: every cell in your physical form is actually concentrated divine consciousness, temporarily taking material shape. When you align your awareness with this truth and learn to direct divine energy consciously, you discover that perfect health isn't just possible, it's your natural state. This is why the great saints throughout history could heal instantly and maintain perfect health regardless of age. They understood that their bodies were divine energy in form, and they knew how to keep this energy flowing freely through every cell. They didn't see themselves as separate from divine healing power. They knew they were channels for this power. Your body wants to heal itself completely. It's designed to repair any damage, overcome any illness, reverse any deterioration. The divine healing intelligence that created your body is constantly working to restore perfect function to every organ and system. But this miraculous healing can only happen when you understand what your body truly is and remove the spiritual blocks that prevent healing energy from reaching every cell. Tonight, when you practice the 10-minute healing technique I'm about to teach you, you'll be working with your body's true nature rather than against it. You'll be cooperating with the divine healing intelligence that's always trying to restore you to perfect health. And you'll discover that what you've called miraculous healing is actually the normal function of a body that's properly connected to its divine energy source. Now that you understand your body's divine healing intelligence, let me teach you the exact 10-minute practice that can activate this miraculous power and create overnight healing transformations. This technique combines ancient spiritual principles with practical methods that anyone can learn and use immediately. The practice works by opening specific spiritual channels that allow divine healing energy to flow directly to any part of your body that needs restoration. When you perform this technique correctly, you're not just relaxing or thinking positive thoughts. You're actually directing concentrated divine energy toward healing with the precision of a spiritual surgeon. Begin your preparation 1 hour before your intended bedtime. The state of your consciousness when you start this practice determines how much healing energy you'll be able to channel, so this preparation phase is crucial for maximum results. During this preparation hour, avoid all activities that scatter your attention or fill your mind with worldly concerns. No television, no phone calls about problems, no work-related activities that create mental tension. Instead, use this time for activities that gradually turn your consciousness toward God and prepare your mind for divine healing. Read spiritual teachings that inspire faith in divine healing power. Listen to devotional music that lifts your heart toward God. Spend time in gentle prayer or meditation that connects you with divine presence. The goal is to shift your consciousness from everyday concerns to spiritual receptivity, creating the inner state that can receive and direct healing energy. 30 minutes before sleep, begin the formal preparation by creating what I call sacred healing space in your bedroom. This isn't about physical arrangements. It's about consecrating your sleeping area as a temple where divine healing will take place. Sit quietly on your bed and mentally fill your room with divine light. Visualize brilliant golden healing energy flowing down from God, filling every corner of your bedroom with sacred presence. Ask for divine blessing on the healing work you're about to do, requesting that your room become a sanctuary where God's healing power can work without any interference. This consecration of space helps concentrate healing energy and creates a protective field that prevents any negative influences from interfering with your healing work. You're essentially turning your bedroom into a divine healing temple where miracles can happen naturally. Next, practice what I call body appreciation meditation. Place your hands on different parts of your body and silently thank each area for its faithful service. Thank your heart for its tireless beating, your lungs for their constant breathing, your hands for their ability to touch and serve, your feet for carrying you through life. This appreciation awakens your conscious connection with your body's divine intelligence and prepares every cell to receive healing energy. When you approach your body with gratitude rather than criticism or fear, you create the receptive state that allows healing energy to penetrate deeply into your physical form. Now begins the 10-minute healing practice itself. Lie comfortably on your back with your spine straight and your arms relaxed at your sides. Close your eyes and begin the specific breathing technique that opens channels for divine healing energy to flow through your body. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 6 counts while mentally saying, "Divine healing energy is filling my body." As you inhale, visualize brilliant golden white light entering through the top of your head and flowing down through your entire body. See this light as concentrated healing power that can repair any damage and restore perfect function to every cell. Hold your breath for 3 counts while feeling this healing energy spreading throughout your body, reaching every organ, every system, every cell that needs restoration. During this pause, mentally affirm, "This divine energy is healing me now." Breathe out through your mouth for 6 counts while mentally saying, "All illness and pain are leaving my body." As you exhale, visualize any darkness, tension, or diseased energy being released from your body through your breath. See your exhale carrying away anything that doesn't serve your perfect health. Hold your breath out for 3 counts while feeling your body becoming lighter, cleaner, more filled with healing light. During this pause, mentally affirm, "I am perfectly healthy and whole." Continue this breathing pattern for the full 10 minutes, allowing each breath to draw in more divine healing energy and release more of whatever needs to be cleared from your body. Don't worry about timing the counts perfectly. Let your natural breathing rhythm guide you while maintaining awareness of the healing energy flowing through each breath. As you practice this breathing, engage in what I call surgical visualization, directing healing energy to specific areas of your body that need restoration. If you're dealing with a health challenge in a particular organ or body system, focus extra attention on sending healing light to that area. For heart healing, visualize brilliant golden light filling your heart with perfect rhythm, strength, and vitality. See your heart beating with divine perfection, pumping healing energy to every cell in your body. For digestive healing, see pure white light cleansing and restoring your stomach, intestines, and all digestive organs to perfect function. Visualize your digestive system processing food with divine efficiency and creating abundant energy for your body. For immune system healing, imagine your bloodstream filled with golden warrior light that seeks out and destroys any illness while strengthening your body's natural defenses. See your immune system operating with divine intelligence to maintain perfect health. For healing any type of pain, Visualize divine healing energy flowing directly to the source of discomfort like a river of liquid light. See this energy dissolving the cause of pain and restoring perfect comfort and function to that area. The key to effective visualization is combining clear mental images with deep faith in divine healing power. Don't just imagine the healing, believe that it's actually happening as you visualize it. Divine energy responds to faith-filled visualization by manifesting the healing you're seeing in your mind's eye. During the final minutes of your practice, engage in what I call whole body blessing. Instead of focusing on specific problems, visualize your entire body glowing with perfect health, vitality, and divine beauty. See every cell radiating with healing energy, every organ functioning in divine harmony, every system working with miraculous efficiency. Feel gratitude for the healing that's taking place, even before you see physical evidence of it. Thank God for the divine energy that's restoring your body to perfect health. Express appreciation for your body's ability to receive and use this healing power. End your practice with a prayer of surrender, offering your healing to divine will while maintaining complete faith in God's power to restore you to perfect health. Say something like, "Divine Mother, I offer this healing work to you. Use this energy according to your perfect will. I trust completely in your power to heal me." Then release any attachment to specific outcomes or timing for your healing. Your job is to direct divine energy faithfully through this practice. God's job is to manifest the healing according to divine wisdom and perfect timing. As you transition into sleep, maintain awareness of the healing energy still flowing through your body. Don't analyze whether the practice worked or look for immediate physical changes. Simply rest in faith that divine healing energy is continuing to work throughout the night while your body rests. Many students experience immediate relief from pain or symptoms after their first night of practice. Others notice gradual improvements over several days or weeks. Some have dramatic overnight healings that amaze their doctors. The timing and manner of healing varies according to divine will and your individual needs, but the consistent practice of directing divine energy always produces positive results. The power of this practice isn't in the specific techniques. It's in your faith-filled cooperation with the divine healing intelligence that wants to restore your body to perfect health. When you practice this technique consistently, you're not just hoping for healing, you're actively participating in the miraculous process that makes healing inevitable. Now that you've learned the basic 10-minute practice, let me teach you how to program your healing while you sleep, directing divine energy to specific conditions and working with your body's natural restoration rhythms during the night hours when healing occurs most efficiently. Your body doesn't heal randomly throughout the day. It follows specific rhythms that align with natural cycles of rest and restoration. Understanding these rhythms allows you to program your healing work for maximum effectiveness, creating targeted restoration while you sleep. The most powerful healing hours occur between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., when your body naturally shifts into its deepest restoration mode. During these hours, your physical form is most receptive to divine healing energy and can accomplish healing work that would take many times longer during daylight hours. But this natural healing window only operates at full capacity when your consciousness is properly prepared and your healing intentions are clearly programmed before you fall asleep. Without conscious direction, your body's nighttime restoration focuses only on basic maintenance, rather than the miraculous healing transformations that are possible when divine energy is consciously directed. After completing your 10-minute healing practice, use the transition into sleep for what I call healing programming, giving your subconscious mind and your body's healing intelligence specific instructions for the restorative work to be accomplished during the present night. This programming works because your subconscious mind continues operating throughout sleep, directing energy and resources according to the instructions you give it before losing conscious awareness. When you program healing intentions clearly and with complete faith, your subconscious mind works all night to manifest the healing you've requested. Begin your programming by stating your healing intentions in present tense, as if the healing is already accomplished. Instead of saying, "I want to heal my back pain," say, "My back is perfectly healthy and pain-free." Instead of "Please help my heart condition," say, "My heart beats with perfect divine rhythm and strength." This present tense programming tells your subconscious mind that the healing is already real in spiritual dimensions and just needs to be manifested in physical experience. Your subconscious mind then works throughout the night to align your physical body with the perfect health that already exists in divine consciousness. For chronic conditions that have persisted for months or years, use what I call progressive healing programming. Instead of expecting instant complete healing, program your subconscious for steady improvement over time. Say something like, "Every night, divine energy is healing my condition more completely. Each day I feel stronger, healthier, and more vital." This approach works with your body's natural healing rhythms, rather than demanding changes that might create resistance. Your subconscious mind can accept gradual transformation more easily than sudden dramatic shifts, especially for conditions that took time to develop. For acute conditions like injuries, infections, or sudden illness, you can program more immediate healing. Say, "Divine healing energy is restoring my body to perfect health right now. All inflammation, infection, and damage are being healed completely while I sleep." Acute conditions often respond faster to healing programming because they haven't become deeply embedded in your body's energy patterns. Fresh injuries and illnesses are more flexible and responsive to divine healing energy when it's directed with faith and consistency. If you're dealing with multiple health challenges, prioritize your programming rather than trying to address everything at once. Choose the condition that's affecting your life most significantly and focus your programming on that area for several weeks. Once you see improvement in your primary concern, you can expand your programming to address other issues. This focused approach concentrates your healing energy for maximum impact, rather than scattering it across multiple areas. Divine healing energy is unlimited, but your ability to direct it effectively increases when you focus on one primary goal at a time. During your programming, engage in what I call cellular communication, speaking directly to the cells, organs, or systems that need healing. Your cells are conscious and responsive to loving communication from your awakened consciousness. For digestive issues, speak lovingly to your stomach and intestines. "Dear digestive system, thank you for your faithful service. Please receive this divine healing energy and use it to restore perfect function. I love you and appreciate your work in my body." For immune system challenges, communicate with your body's defense systems. "Beloved immune system, you are strong, intelligent, and perfectly designed to maintain my health. Please use this divine energy to overcome any illness and create perfect immunity." This cellular communication creates cooperation between your conscious mind and your body's healing intelligence. When your cells feel appreciated and loved, rather than criticized or feared, they become more responsive to healing energy and more effective at implementing the restorations you're programming. Throughout your programming, maintain what I call outcome independence. Complete faith in healing combined with surrender of specific timing or methods. Program your healing with total confidence while remaining open to however divine wisdom chooses to manifest the restoration you're requesting. Sometimes programmed healing manifests exactly as you visualized it. Other times, the healing comes through unexpected methods. A new treatment option appears, a helpful doctor arrives in your life, or your body heals in ways that surprise everyone involved. Divine intelligence often has better plans than your conscious mind can imagine. End your programming with what I call sleep surrender, consciously releasing all healing work to divine intelligence while you rest. Say something like, "I have done my part by directing divine energy and programming my healing. Now I surrender all results to God's perfect will and trust completely in divine healing power." This surrender prevents your conscious mind from interfering with the healing work that needs to happen during sleep. When you try to monitor, control, or analyze your healing while sleeping, you create mental interference that blocks the very restoration you're seeking. As you drift into sleep, maintain awareness of the healing energy still working in your body without trying to direct or control it. Feel gratitude for the healing that's taking place and trust completely in your body's divine intelligence to use the energy you've provided for your highest good. Many students report experiencing healing dreams during their programmed sleep, visions of light healing their bodies, encounters with divine beings who provide healing energy, or symbolic dreams that represent the restoration taking place. These dreams are often actual spiritual experiences rather than mere psychological symbols. Other students sleep deeply without memorable dreams, but wake up with noticeable improvement in their conditions. Still others experience gradual healing over multiple nights of consistent programming. The manifestation varies according to individual needs and divine timing, but the consistent programming always produces beneficial results. The key to successful healing programming is combining clear intention with complete surrender. Be specific about what you want healed, but remain flexible about how the healing happens. Direct divine energy with confidence, but trust divine wisdom to manifest results according to perfect timing and methods. Remember, you're not forcing your body to heal through willpower or positive thinking. You're cooperating with divine healing intelligence that wants to restore you to perfect health. Your programming simply gives this intelligence clear direction about where to focus its unlimited healing power. While your 10-minute bedtime practice and sleep programming create powerful healing transformations, maintaining healing energy throughout your day multiplies these benefits and creates the continuous divine health that prevents illness from developing in the first place. Living in continuous divine health means maintaining such constant alignment with healing energy that illness becomes nearly impossible. Your body operates at such a high vibration of divine vitality that lower vibrations of disease simply cannot take hold in your physical system. This isn't about obsessing over health or constantly monitoring your body for problems. It's about establishing lifestyle rhythms that keep you naturally connected to the divine healing energy that flows through all existence. When this connection becomes automatic, perfect health becomes your effortless natural state. Begin each day with what I call morning healing activation. Before getting out of bed, spend 5 minutes circulating divine healing energy through your body. Place your hands on your heart and feel divine love filling every cell. Move your hands to your head and invite divine intelligence to guide all your thoughts. Touch your abdomen and ask for divine energy to perfectly digest and assimilate whatever you consume that day. This morning activation sets your entire day on a foundation of divine healing energy. Instead of starting your day focused on problems or concerns, you begin with conscious connection to the healing power that can prevent problems from manifesting in your physical experience. Throughout your day, practice what I call blessing eating, consciously receiving divine energy through the food you consume. Before each meal, silently thank God for the nourishment you're about to receive and ask that it be blessed with healing energy for your body. As you eat, maintain awareness that you're not just consuming physical nutrients, you're receiving divine energy that has taken the form of food to nourish your body temple. This conscious eating transforms ordinary meals into communion with divine healing power and helps your body extract maximum benefit from whatever you consume. During work and daily activities, maintain what I call healing breath awareness. Several times throughout the day, take 3 deep breaths while consciously drawing divine healing energy into your body. This keeps your healing energy channels open and prevents the accumulation of tension or stress that blocks healing flow. You don't need to stop your activities or close your eyes. Simply breathe consciously while maintaining awareness that each breath is bringing divine healing energy into your physical form. This practice takes only seconds but maintains your connection to healing power throughout busy days. Practice what I call service healing, using your daily interactions with others as opportunities to both give and receive healing energy. When you serve others with genuine love, divine healing energy flows through you to them and simultaneously nourishes your own body with the healing power of love. Whether you're helping a family member, serving customers at work, or simply offering a kind word to a stranger, approach these interactions as opportunities to be a channel for divine healing energy. This service consciousness keeps healing energy flowing through your body while contributing to the healing of others. Create what I call healing moments throughout your day, brief pauses where you consciously connect with divine healing energy. While waiting in line, sitting in traffic, or taking work breaks, use these moments to place your hand on your heart and feel divine love healing any stress or tension in your body. These healing moments don't require special locations or extended time. They're simply conscious choices to receive divine energy whenever life provides brief pauses. Over time, these moments accumulate into a continuous stream of healing energy flowing through your daily experience. In the evening, practice what I call healing review, examining your day for any thoughts, emotions, or experiences that might have created blocks to healing energy flow. If you experienced anger, fear, criticism, or any other negative state, consciously release these energies and replace them with divine healing vibrations. This evening, clearing prevents negative energies from accumulating in your body overnight and ensures that your sleep healing practice works with a clean energy field. You're essentially maintaining spiritual hygiene that keeps your healing channels clear and receptive. Throughout all these daily practices, maintain what I call divine health identity, seeing yourself not as someone who occasionally gets healing, but as someone who naturally radiates divine health because of your spiritual alignment. This identity shift changes how your body responds to potential illness and how quickly healing energy can restore any temporary imbalances. When you truly know yourself as a divine being temporarily inhabiting a physical form, you naturally expect your body to function with divine perfection. This expectation creates the mental and spiritual conditions that allow miraculous health to manifest as your normal experience, rather than as special healing events. The most advanced practice is what I call healing transmission, becoming such a clear channel for divine healing energy that your mere presence helps others heal. As you maintain continuous connection to healing power, your energy field becomes so saturated with divine healing vibrations that sensitive people feel better just by being around you. This healing transmission happens naturally when you live in consistent alignment with divine healing energy. You're not trying to heal others directly. You're simply maintaining such pure connection to healing power that it overflows from your personal experience to bless everyone you encounter. Students who master this continuous healing practice often report that they rarely experience illness, recover remarkably quickly from any health challenges, maintain energy and vitality regardless of age, and seem to have a healing effect on others without conscious effort. This isn't because they've become special or superior. It's because they've learned to cooperate consistently with the divine healing intelligence that wants to maintain perfect health in every human body. They've simply removed the spiritual blocks and established the lifestyle practices that allow natural healing energy to flow without impediment. The goal isn't to become obsessed with health or to live in fear of illness. The goal is to establish such natural alignment with divine healing energy that perfect health becomes as automatic as breathing. When you live in this continuous healing flow, your body becomes a radiant expression of divine vitality that inspires others to seek their own connection to healing power. Remember, divine healing energy is unlimited and always available. The only variables are your receptivity to this energy and your consistency in directing it toward perfect health. As you develop these daily practices, you're not earning healing through good behavior. You're simply learning to cooperate with the healing power that's always been your birthright as a divine being. My beloved friend, what we've discovered today gives you power over your physical experience that most people never realize they possess. You now understand that your body is not just a physical machine subject to random illness and inevitable decay. It's a divine creation designed to channel perfect healing energy when you know how to activate this miraculous capacity. You've learned the 10-minute practice that can transform any night into a healing miracle, how to program your sleep for specific restoration needs, and how to live in such continuous alignment with divine energy that radiant health becomes your natural state. Remember, this isn't about replacing medical care when you need it. It's about awakening the divine healer within you that can accomplish what no external medicine can achieve. Your body wants to heal itself completely, and now you have the spiritual tools to allow this divine healing to flow freely. The practice I've shared with you tonight is the same spiritual science that has been used by healers and saints throughout history. What they accomplished through divine healing, you can accomplish as well, because the same divine energy that worked through them is flowing through you right now. Your healing journey doesn't depend on your worthiness, your spiritual advancement, or your perfect practice of these techniques. It depends only on your willingness to cooperate with the divine healing intelligence that loves your body and wants to restore it to perfect function. Don't measure the success of your practice by immediate dramatic results, though many students do experience remarkable overnight improvements. Measure success by your growing faith in divine healing power, your increasing connection to the divine energy that animates your body, and your gradual transformation into someone who radiates health and vitality. Some nights your practice will feel powerful and filled with healing energy. Other nights it might feel routine or even difficult. Both experiences are normal and beneficial. Consistency matters more than intensity. Regular practice of these techniques creates cumulative healing effects that build over time into remarkable restoration. Trust the process even when you can't see immediate evidence of healing. Divine energy works at levels deeper than physical symptoms, often healing root causes that haven't yet manifested as physical problems. Your faithful practice creates healing transformations that may not become visible for days, weeks, or even months. So tonight, as you prepare for sleep, remember, you are not a victim of physical limitations or genetic predispositions. You are a divine being temporarily wearing a physical body, and this body is designed to be a perfect channel for divine healing energy. Every cell in your body is waiting to receive the healing energy you're about to direct to it. Every organ and system is ready to function in perfect harmony when divine energy flows freely. Your body's natural state is not illness, aging, or decay. It's vibrant health, radiant vitality, and divine beauty that reflects your soul's perfection. From tonight forward, you will sleep not just as rest, but as divine healing. You will awaken not just refreshed, but renewed. You will live not just healthy, but radiantly whole. Now, I want to ask you something important. What healing miracle are you most hoping to experience through this divine practice? Are you seeking relief from chronic pain, restoration of a specific organ, or perhaps overall vitality and renewed energy? Share your healing intention in the comments below. When you put your healing goal into words and share it with our spiritual community, you create additional divine energy to support your restoration. And let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced what you would call a miraculous healing in your life, whether through prayer, medical treatment, or unexpected recovery? I'd love to hear your story in the comments, because your experience could inspire and encourage someone else who needs hope for their own healing journey. If this teaching has touched your heart and you feel called to continue receiving divine wisdom for your spiritual journey, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and consider joining our YouTube membership to support this sacred work. Your support allows us to continue sharing these ancient teachings that can transform lives and awaken souls to their divine potential. For those who hunger for deeper spiritual guidance, you can join our free email community where I share additional insights, practices, and wisdom that can accelerate your spiritual growth. You'll find the link in the description below, along with other resources to support your journey toward divine realization. Remember, every soul that awakens to divine healing power creates ripples of transformation that touch countless others. By practicing what you've learned tonight, you're not just healing yourself, you're contributing to the healing of our entire world. Until we commune again in the presence of divine love, may your body be a temple of perfect health, and may your life radiate the miraculous healing power that flows through every awakened soul.